Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another daily live stream. Happy Monday, everyone. I see people in the chat saying happy Monday, taking my lines. Just kidding. Nice to see everyone. Hopefully, everyone had a great weekend. Maybe some of you are starting today. Maybe some of you said, it's Monday. It's time to start my journey. And if you are, let this be the last time you say that Monday is when you start. Instead, make this the day that you begin your journey and it never ends from here. Every day is just a day to learn and grow and work on good, healthy habits and work on breaking bad ones. Today is day 652 of my fasting journey. I have been doing this for, God knows, close to 2 years at this point. It hasn't been perfect. There have been a lot of good days and some bad days, but there's no part of me that has said it's time to start over. There's no part of me that's just giving up completely and going back to my old habits of doing something that is all or nothing. The progress continues, the journey continues. Nothing is going to stop this train. Hopefully for all of you as well. Before I continue on, Jordan, Miss Peaceful One, Josh, Patty, Almadas, Aisha, Lucas, Prodslek, Tanisha, Halil, Loud, Carnivorous Teacher. Hello, welcome. Welcome to another daily live stream. I'm tired today, everyone. Every day, I'm just going and going and going. This morning, I woke up at like 5:15 in the morning, and I was like, try to sleep for another half hour. I couldn't. And by 5:30, I was out the door walking to the gym. I didn't really want to wake up this early. What I've been trying to do lately is I've been trying to wake up with the sun, meaning that now that sunrise is a little later, closer to 6 a.m., I'm trying to wake up a little later. But as you all know, I'm currently in the middle of a move. If you didn't know that, that's why there are these holes in the wall. The TV is no longer here. The shelves are gone. I'm currently trying to sell everything I own, trying to put whatever I can in storage that I don't want to sell, and figuring out the next chapter of my life. Hopefully this gets fixed by later this week, because I can't leave holes in the wall when I leave this apartment building or this specific apartment. Every day, just putting the work in, every day practicing good habits, every day doing what I need to do to be happy and healthy. And for all of you who are here right now, this should be your goal as well. Sure, we're here because we're all trying to, I would assume most of us are trying to lose weight. I would assume most of us are trying to lose excess body fat and build muscle. Most of us, all of us should be here to continue working on your health and wellness journey, to continue to be finding the road to get you to happiness and good health. So if you're here right now, I see people already doing that in the chat, sharing their progress, sharing the good and the bad. Remember, this isn't just a place to talk about your accomplishments. This should also be a place where if you're struggling, share that struggle. If it helps you to stay accountable, share that struggle. Sometimes that's all we need, is knowing that there is a community behind us, to know that you're not alone. And that's why no matter what happens to me on a day-to-day basis, I want to be able to be as honest and transparent as possible so that you understand that I'm not perfect by a long shot. I have good days. I feel like in the last 3.5 weeks or however long I have gotten back on track, I've been doing a lot of the good things that I should be doing. It's not perfect. There are days where I overeat. There are days that I go over my caloric limit. There are days that I don't get all my steps in for the day, but it doesn't change the fact that I am continuing to work on the plan and the strategy and the routine that I have set out for myself. Because I know at the end of the day, that is going to count a lot more. Practicing imperfect consistency counts a lot more than doing the all or nothing type thinking. Me moving out of this apartment, out of this state, out of this country has been very overwhelming for me. And I've shared this many times, but it's the reason that I have recently gained 30 pounds in 5 weeks. This is, I say recently, but we're talking about maybe less than a month ago. I went from 140 pounds almost to 170 pounds. A lot of that was mindless eating. A lot of it was eating for comfort. A lot of it was stress eating. A lot of it was eating because I felt overwhelmed. And instead of getting shit done, what I did instead was eat to avoid, eat to comfort, eat to forget. And that didn't lead me anywhere except gaining weight on the scale and not accomplishing trying to get shit done in my apartment, trying to get shit done when it comes to the move. So, what did I do to get back onto my journey? Fasting. Always fasting is what helps me get my act together. It's what gives me control on my journey. In the last, 25 days or so, I have been doing a lot of rounds of ADF. I initially started with 9 rounds of ADF, losing over 20 pounds, eating about 2,700 calories per refeed. In 18 days, I went from 169.6 pounds down to 148.4. And then I had a quote unquote 20% day where I overate. I didn't count calories as thoroughly as I typically do. I ended up eating about 7,500 calories, and it pushed my weight from 148 to 155, gaining 7 pounds. What did I do after that? What I know best. I put myself on a 90-hour fast to help offset all the calories I ate on that specific day. Granted, this was all planned. I prepared for this. I said, today is going to be a day where I'm going to eat whatever I want, but I am still going to be mindful. I'm not just going to throw the day away completely and just eat mindlessly and not even count calories. At least I gave myself a rough estimate. And because of that, it allowed me to be like, okay, you're going to eat 7,500 calories. Well, you're going to put yourself on a longer fast. And that's exactly what I did. I fasted for almost 93 hours. And the 7 pounds I gained initially after a 93-hour fast, I lost 9.6 pounds, losing more weight than I had gained from that day, pushing myself down from 155.4 pounds to 145.8 pounds, losing almost 24 pounds in 21 days. And since then, I have now done 3 rounds of ADF on top of that. I'm currently 14. Is that where I'm at? I'm only 14 hours fasted. I did refeed yesterday, everyone. So yes, I'm almost 15 hours fasted. 14 hours and 44 minutes fasted. And I will be fasting all day today. I'm not going to be eating today. And I'll be breaking again tomorrow evening, while completing another round of ADF. Since I have done these daily live streams, I have now completed 12 rounds of ADFs. I have completed 190 plus hour fast. And on average, over the last 25 days or however many days that is, I have been fasting for about 48 hours. So fasting for about 2 days on average for the last 3+ weeks. But let's not forget, this is day 652 of my journey. In the last 652 days, I've been averaging probably a 48-hour fast over the last year and 9 months, 10 months, however many months 652 days are. Some of them much longer fasts, 90 plus hour fasts, 120 plus hour fasts. Some of them shorter fasts, 16-hour fasts, back-to-back eating days. But on average, still using fasting as a powerful tool for me to lose the weight and keep the weight off. And it's something that I've been able to do and maintain now for this long. I always click the wrong. There we go. That should say 12, not 11. But after 11 rounds of ADF and one prolonged fast, that should say 12. This is what my weight looks like. I've gone from close to 170 pounds, bringing myself back down to the mid 140s. And since then, I've been hovering from the mid 140s to a little more than that. And if you look at my last two fasted weights, the weight has pushed itself up a little bit from 145.8 after finishing my 90-hour fast to 146.4 to 147.2. Why did the weight go up? Because that's what the scale is going to do. Nothing has changed in my routine. Still eating the same way, still going for my walks, still lifting weights. It's true, I have eaten a little bit more after that 7,500 calorie refeed. So maybe that's why the weight is pushing itself up, but it isn't changing the fact that I still need to practice my fasts. I still need to be mindful in the way I eat. I still need to make sure that I don't go overboard on my calories. And every day that passes by, regardless what the scale says, regardless what my weight is, it doesn't stop this train from doing what it has to do. Fasting, making mindful choices when eating, being careful about not going overboard on my calories, going for my walks, lifting weights, making sure I sleep well, doing all the things that will help me continue to be happy and healthy. So yesterday was my refeed. And I think since I've been doing this now for 3 weeks plus, I have shown you all everything I have been eating. Today is no exception. We will go over today's refeed as well. Hi, everyone else that's just jumped in the stream. I see you all here. It's not that I don't see you. I do. Thank you for showing up and being here today. Thanks for joining me on watching the same shit that I talk about every day, but I appreciate it. So let's talk about what I ate yesterday. If I can get the right screen on here. There we go. Okay. I don't think this is going to be all that surprising if you're here every day and you have watched me time and time again share what my refeeds are. They're pretty much very similar in nature. This is a bowl of salad. This is a Caesar salad bowl. That is a bunch of cheese on it and dressing. That's a lovely shot of me. I just buy those Caesar salads in a bag, and I've been buying the one lately that's like Caesar light, so it saves on calories. It's like a lighter dressing, and I'll eat that entire bag, and I'll also add extra dressing. I've bought this yogurt dressing, which is lower in calorie as well, but I really like to put a lot of dressing on my salad, so there's extra dressing in there. There's also the dressing from that bagged salad. There are croutons in there, but I also added extra Parmesan Romano cheese. I think it's Romano. So I always click the wrong thing. You can continue watching me eat the salad. When I used to eat these salads, I used to pile on dressing and croutons, and I wasn't even counting calories because I was fasting for like 65 hours or 90 hours. Because I'm fasting for less now, I have to be more mindful when it comes to what I'm eating. This is a huge bowl of Brussels sprouts. Again, not surprising. If you watch me every other day when I show my refeeds, I'm literally eating the same foods. Here's the thing about eating the same foods every other day. And I do change up the protein pretty much every other day. Sometimes it's ground turkey, sometimes it's ground beef, sometimes it's chicken, sometimes it's salmon, sometimes there's shrimp. But because I eat every other day and I fast every other day, food is amazing to eat after a fast. It is always amazing to eat after a fast. I could literally eat almost all of the same foods after every other fast because I'm fasted and I'm really craving something to eat. These Brussels sprouts cooked the same way all the time, roasted in the oven, cut in half. And here's what I've been doing lately too. If you see me, I'm dipping it in balsamic vinegar. I have wanted to change it up a little bit. So I have been using that for my Brussels sprouts. I typically don't use balsamic vinegar, but I've been wanting to change it up a bit. One of the mistakes that I did is I used to just pour the balsamic vinegar on it and it was too much. So now I kind of use it as a dipping sauce and it actually works really well. So it might be a little unorthodox in that way, but I like it. This is also a plate of chicken thighs. I was thinking for a second, what was I eating? These are boneless, skinless chicken thighs. These are some of my favorite things to eat if you season them well and cook them well. I always say this every time I talk about my refeeds, I start to salivate because it looks good. I'm literally thinking about what I just ate 15 hours ago. This was literally 15 hours ago. This is a plate of chicken thighs, but you'll see here, and that's my strategy, right? When I eat a lot of the protein first. I try to make sure that I eat the protein first so I don't overdo it on a bunch of carbs. I'll always prioritize protein and then I mix things in later. So you'll see here, this is a plate of rice and chicken thighs and mushrooms and cherry tomatoes that have been stewed and corn. Corn is also one of my favorite things to eat too. I try to limit that because I could probably eat bags and bags worth of corn. So corn, mushrooms, tomatoes, chicken thighs, and rice. Delicious. It was such a huge plate of food. And I can't wait to have some more of that in the future. You can enjoy me eating that if that's what you enjoy watching. These are 2 bananas. This ripeness of a banana is the perfect ripeness for me. I don't know how many of you enjoy ripe bananas, but this is my favorite way of eating them. I just thought I would share the level of ripeness that I really enjoy. Anyway, 2 bananas I ate as well. You'll just have to watch me finish this banana before the next scene. I never know how long to clip these for. This is a plate of strawberries, pineapples, and mangoes. This is a really good combination. This was about 350 grams of fruit here. So 2 bananas and all of this fruit as well. Pineapples and bananas are my 2 favorite fruits to eat. And I just have mangoes and strawberries here just for variety. And then the last scene when it cuts to that shouldn't be surprising, but we'll talk about it. This is a bowl, again, of pretty much every dessert that I've been eating lately. I love pumpkin pie, everyone. Pumpkin pie is one of my favorite things to eat. If you were to ask me what my 2, because it's probably those 2, my 2 favorite desserts, pumpkin pie and cheesecake. Pumpkin cheesecake is also really good, but that's very hard to find unless maybe Cheesecake Factory is offering it. But this is a bowl of sugar-free Jell-O pudding, canned pumpkin pie spice, and I put these digestive tea biscuits on top for crunch. This kind of acts as like the crust of the pie per se. I've really been enjoying these, so I make them on every refeed for the last, I don't know how many refeeds I've had. I also added milk in here, and I added protein powder to keep the protein up and to curb my sweet tooth. And that's my refeed. In total, I have it up here. I had 2,885 calories and 196 grams of protein. This is the first refeed under 3,000 calories since last Saturday, because last Saturday I had 7,500 calories, and then my last couple refeeds, one was 3,600, one was 3,200, and today it was under 2,900, or not today, yesterday. If we look at these, and I'll dig into the other refeed stats here, but if you want the nerdy refeed stats, over my last 12 refeeds, my average refeed time is right under 4 hours. My average calories per refeed is a little over 3,200, and my average protein per refeed is 197 grams. If you look at where it's highlighted in green, it's highlighted in green because I'm happy with these stats. I'm good with these numbers. I like keeping my refeed times short. I actually, if this was probably under 6 hours, I'd be fine with it too. I just happen to finish my refeeds in about 4 hours, unless I'm eating with friends and family like I did last Saturday. And that was like an 11-hour refeed. Protein is where I needed to be. Average calories per refeed, still a little high. I want to keep it under 3,000 is where I want to be. Will I keep it under 3,000 forever? Probably not. It just depends. I just want it under 3,000 right now because my goal is still to lose excess body fat. If you looked at the title of this video or this live stream, it's pretty much the same. I'm fasting, I'm refeeding, I'm doing all the good things that I need to do. And I have about 15 pounds of excess body fat is my guess that I need to lose. So I need to continue putting myself at a caloric deficit and getting the excess fat off of me. Oh, that's what I want to share too. My last 4 refeeds, you can see here, you can see it's starting to drop. If you look at the 9th of August, last week, I had 7,500 calories and I only had 150 grams of protein. That is a very low amount of protein for as many calories as I ate. Why did that happen? Because I ate really unhealthy. I ate really shitty, but that was on purpose. I was with friends and family. I wanted to enjoy myself. If you're wondering what I ate, you can watch, I believe it was last Sunday's refeed. If you want to see me eat a Twinkie with a Twix inside of it and drizzled with liquid sugar, you can watch that. But you'll see that's why 7,500 calories, only 150 grams of protein. The following refeeds have started to taper down. usually after a big refeed, like eating over 7,000 calories, it's hard for me to limit my calories. So you'll see it go from 7,500 to 3,600 to 3,200. And then yesterday, I was able to keep it under 3,000, right at about 2,900, and the protein where it needs to be. My goal right now, every refeed goal is to keep myself at under 3,000 calories and eat over 190 grams of protein. Eating the protein helps me with muscle. Eating the protein helps with satiety. Having more muscle means that my metabolic rate increases, meaning that the more muscle I have, the more calories my body burns doing absolutely nothing. Eating more protein also burns more calories just digesting. So it's one of the reasons I keep it as high as I do. And obviously, the thing about the way I fast is it's still more than just fasting, right? I'm obviously talking about how important it is to keep my calories in check. And for people who are wondering and this isn't exactly a new kind of nerd stat, but this is more of a take a look and see what my weight is after a refeed and after fasting for 24 plus hours. If you look at my last 4 refeeds, after I ate 7,500 calories, I gained 7 pounds. And then look at what happened the day after. After gaining 7 pounds the day after, just 24 hours fasted or so, I lost 5 of those 7 pounds. If you look at the next refeed where I gained 6.4 pounds, only 24 hours after or whatever, right? Down 6 pounds. The next one, gained 6 pounds, down 5.5 pounds. Today, when I woke up and weighed myself, I was up 5 pounds. And who knows what I'm going to lose tomorrow? Probably around 5 pounds again. And my hope is it continues to push the weight down. And it has proven to do so because I've literally been documenting it day after day after day. Some days the weight will still push itself up, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop me. It doesn't stop this train from doing what it needs to do, right? We just keep pushing. We just keep going. And then, like I said, it's more than just fasting. We've talked about my fasting protocol. We've talked about my refeeding. And the one thing that I also incorporate is walking. In the last 25, actually, I think that's probably 26 days now. Let me double check. In the last 26 days, my average step count is over 16,000 steps. Yesterday's step count was a little over 16 and a half or 16.5. You know what I'm saying? My yesterday's step count was 16,678. So I put a lot of steps in. Does that mean that you need to walk that many steps? No, it doesn't. Just because I fast for 48 hours, does that mean you should? No. Just because I fast for 90 hours in the past and lost 80 pounds, does that mean you should do it? No. Most people aren't going to be eating 6,000 calories like I did when I first started my journey. You need to figure out what works for you. If fasting is something that's important to you and you find and get success doing it, then figure out your protocol, right? Figure out what can be sustainable, what can be consistent. Obviously, outside of all of these things, they're super important. They're all levers to help with weight loss, to improve your health, and also, like I said here, strength training every other day, right? Every other day. Yesterday, after eating 2,900 calories, this morning when I woke up at 5:15 or whatever it was, and I was at the gym at around 5:30 this morning, I lifted heavy. I pushed hard. I like being able to lift every other day after a refeed in the evening because that's when I have the most energy. That's when I know I can try to push numbers and try to add muscle and continue to burn, lose body fat. Fit check. Time for fit check. If you're unaware of what fit check is when I stand back here and I show you all what I look like. Yes, I feel bloated today. For whoever wrote that comment and said, Jerome always says he feels bloated. I do. I literally ate 2,900 calories 15 hours ago. I put on 5 pounds. Of course, I feel a little bloated, but it's okay. Just to give you an idea of what I look like in the past, here we go. My heaviest weight at 235 pounds at 5'3". Not tall at all. I'm very short. At this height and weight, I could barely fit into size 38 pants. I mean, just look at my belly there. I had to buy extra large or double XL adult shirts just so it would fit over my belly so that my belly wouldn't show at the bottom. And today I'm wearing a size extra large boy shirt. Today I wear size extra small pants or size 28 waist pants, right? And I've been able to keep this weight off now for over 650 days. So for anyone that tells you that what I do is bullshit, well, I don't think anyone says what I do is bullshit, but for anybody who wants to talk shit, I'm literally the living embodiment of what imperfect consistency looks like, what fasting looks like, what controlling calories looks like. And I'm showing you that it can be done in a healthy way. Optimal blood work every 6 months, 6 or 7 months, depends how often I'm going, right? Because my doctor doesn't even want me to come every 6 or 7 months. He's like, just come back in a year. But I like coming every 6 and I like going to the doctor. Like coming every 6 months. That's a little too far in between. I like going to the doctor every 6 or 7 months just to make sure that my blood work is optimal. So let's do fit check. Again, size extra large boy shirt. These pants are, or these shorts are extra small that I'm wearing. Front shot, side shot. Right? Let's do this again, right? Let's take a look at this side shot. Can we do more of a, we can't do a half and half? No? Can we do a half and half? Will this throw half and half? Nope, that won't do it either. That's okay. Right? Oh, I got to be this way. Other side shot. Rear. Okay, we pretty much got. And yes, I still have fat on me, right? You can see this as I grab this. This is fat right here, right? So I still have some fat to lose. I still have, I mean, there's bloat here too, but that's obviously fat when I grab at it. I love being able to go to the gym and lift weights because for me, it really feels good to know that I'm working on adding muscle. Adding muscle, I feel like will help with at least some of the loose skin that I have. Lifting weights is just really practical too. Since I'm in the middle of moving, I'm surprised how easy it is to just carry stuff and not be tired doing it. In a way, it works out in a really practical and functional way. So another benefit of just doing that. Aesthetically, I like the look. I like knowing that I'm working on having wider shoulders and bigger arms and right, all of those things. One of the reasons I love doing it, but also because it helps your metabolic rate, getting that extra muscle on you, burning more calories. All of those things are pluses. And even for people who, even as I get older, right? Even at 44 years old, 45 later this year, even being at the age I'm at, it's even more important to make sure that I continue to build or maintain as much muscle as I can. Because the older you get, that muscle doesn't hold on the same way that it used to. And I want to be able to preserve it in the best way possible. And just to add on to it, this is all done naturally, right? I don't take medication. I'm not on any injections. I've never had weight loss surgery. I don't know what else that other people do, right? I've never had testosterone replacement therapy, although it was recommended to me when I was obese, morbidly obese, and my testosterone had dropped to its lowest levels. And I was able to fix all of those things, my type 2 diabetes, my high blood pressure, right? Through fasting, through better eating. And I share this with all of you because hopefully you see this and you're like, if Jerome can do it, if Jerome could have done that naturally and be this heavy and not only just lose the weight. Remember, it's not that I just lost the weight. I have continued to lose this weight. I've continued to do it in a way where I'm no longer fasting for 90 hours. I mean, yes, I will fast for 90 hours on days where I really eat a ton of food, but I've been able to show you that I can do this while fasting for less, just fasting every other day. I can show you that I'm able to do this while still eating whatever I want, not restricting myself in that type of way. If I want to eat cheesecake, I can eat cheesecake, right? If I want to eat pizza, I'm going to eat pizza. If I want to go to all you can eat, whatever, I can do that. I show this to all of you so you understand that you can still live a normal life. You've seen me go on vacation, but you've also seen me gain weight and figure out how to get myself back down. This is how you figure that journey, right? Is just by doing, not practicing all or nothing, not obviously I restrict myself by fasting, but I've said this before, fasting is what I'm good at. It's a good tool for me. I might be really good at fasting, but I suck when it comes to controlling calories. You all know that because even last Saturday, when I tried to say, okay, eat what you want, I still ate 7,500 calories, right? It's something that I'm continuing to work on, but it's crazy to me that even though I can eat that way, I can still figure this shit out. For you, it's going to depend. A lot of that is going to take trial and error and figuring what works best for you. So before we're already in that time. If you have questions, ask them now. I know some people were asking questions here or some comments that I kind of want to go over. But if you have any questions, ask them now. I will answer everything that I can. While you're asking questions, if you have any, if you're looking for help when it comes to weight loss or fasting or accountability, if you're looking for an accountability partner, if you're looking for an accountability coach, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. We can put a plan and a strategy together. I can hold you accountable for making sure you're doing the shit you're supposed to be doing. I know my calendar is kind of booked at the moment. I have blocked a lot of time out because I'm currently in the middle of a move, and in about 2 weeks, a lot of this should be open or better. So, if there is time that you do want to book though, or you do want to have a conversation, finallyfasting.com. I do offer merch there as well if you want to support in that way. But also, if you look at the link in the description of this live stream, you can be part of the Finally Fasting fam. You can join and support me where You'll get your name at the beginning of the live streams. You get custom emoji. If you sign up for the autophagy tier, you can join on our Wednesday night live streams where we hold ourselves accountable. We'll be doing one this Wednesday evening. You'll also have access to watch all of those live streams to see what that's about. So if you want to support in that way, you can find the link in the live stream, or you can click the join button on my YouTube channel, or you can find the membership or members tab. I'm not exactly sure. So either way, thanks for the support. I always appreciate that. Uncle says, yo, you don't look like you need to drop a whole 15 pounds. I mean, maybe not, but I know I still have fat to lose. So for me, my goal is to just keep pushing it until I lose whatever's here. This is what I want. This is what I want to lose, right? That's where I feel like that's where I'm holding most of my fat at this point. So we'll see if it's 15 pounds. Adrian says, hi, Jerome, what diets have you previously tried that didn't work? So for me, Adrian, it's when I am restricting certain macros. So for me, I have been able to do carnivore. I've been able to do low carb. And restricting macros in a certain way is just, it's hard for me because then I feel like I am not able to eat the foods I want to eat, which is why at least when I fast, right, it's just, okay, no food for today, but that gives you the opportunity to eat more on other days because obviously I eat at very high volumes. But I mean, I'm trying to think of other diets now, right? Calorie counting is something that I was never able to do before. And in a lot of ways, calorie counting is what I'm currently doing, right? Except incorporating a fast with it to give myself the opportunity to eat more calories. But like when it comes to doing something like, just eating fruits and vegetables or eating super clean or, right, eating high fat, low carb or high carb, low fat, those, they don't work for me. I just feel like it's too much restriction. And I know eventually when I go out with friends or I'm out on the weekend or I'm going on vacation that I want to enjoy what I want to eat. So that's probably the best way, or that's probably the best answer I can give. Because I'm trying to think of like what other diets, but that's pretty much it that I think that's out there. Adrian also asks, hi, Jerome. Having done, I see you updated your question. Having done rolling fasts with unlimited refeeds and ADF with restricted calorie refeeds, what fasting method do you find best for effective weight loss and overall health? This question is too difficult to answer with one answer because, right, the best answer for this is what, like you're asking me, was it better doing 90-hour fasts and eating whatever I wanted or doing shorter fasts like I am right now and limiting my calories? The best effective way for weight loss is the one that you're going to be able to do consistently. It's probably not the answer you want to hear, right? During the time I was doing 90-hour fasts and eating whatever I wanted, it worked so well for me and I lost so much weight because it was what I felt comfortable doing. I also really enjoyed eating 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 calories per refeed, knowing I could eat that way and still lose weight. What I'm doing right now takes a different level of effort. It takes me, the fasting part's easy for me. The eating part is the harder part for me. being more mindful about my food choices is hard for me. I like being able to eat 7,000 calories, but even as I did last Saturday, after eating 7,500 calories, I really didn't enjoy fasting for 90 hours. It was fine. I mean, I enjoy it in the way that it's like it's another 90 plus hour fast. It's easy for me to do. I didn't complain about it. I've gotten to the point where I enjoy eating every other day. I like going to the gym and having energy to lift weights. So in a way, I enjoy doing that more because I enjoy lifting. I enjoy that part of it. When I do 90-hour fasts, it's not that I couldn't lift because I was still going to the gym and lifting even while fasted for that long, but my energy wasn't the same. For effective weight loss and overall health, I mean, if you think about it, eating every other day, fasting every other day, being mindful about what you're eating is a little or is on the less extreme side versus what I was doing before. It's also why I've been doing this longer than fasting for 90 hours. So maybe if you look at it in that way, this is probably better for weight loss and overall health and maybe consistency. But 90-hour fasts and losing 80 pounds in 5 months, I mean, and eating whatever I wanted on my refeeds, I can't see a faster way, and being able to still feel good about eating whatever I wanted. So that's a good question though. There are a lot of nuances when it comes to that. Hi, Megan. Megan says, I got real sick yesterday and almost took a break. I kept running to the bathroom all day. Much better today. Do you take breaks when you get sick? So people have asked me this before. I'm sorry you got sick. Hopefully you're feeling better. Oh yeah, you said much better today. That's good. That's great. Do I take breaks when I get sick? Here's the thing. When I get sick, when I'm like in bed and just feel like ass, I actually fast harder. I know that's probably not what I'm not saying that people don't want to hear that, but for me, I actually feel like when I fast when I'm sick, I get better quicker. I don't know why. Maybe it's placebo. I'm not really sure. I don't have any scientific evidence. Also, knock on wood, I don't get sick often. But I think of it like this. Sometimes I think about like cats or dogs, right? When they're sick, they're not hungry or they won't eat. Typically, they're just resting and they'll drink water. I think animals in the wild do the same thing as well. So it's something that I do. I also, even when I get sick, I usually don't take medicine. I just fast and I'll rest. I'll literally just lay in bed or lay on the couch and I'll watch TV. And that's typically what I do. Now, I'm not saying that that's how you have to do it, but there's nothing wrong with taking a break. So I don't want you to feel guilty, and hopefully you don't. I don't want you to feel guilty for taking a break, because if you're not feeling well and you want to give yourself some comfort, right? You should be able to do that, because you know that once you start feeling better, you'll get yourself right back into it. Adrian says, what apps are you using to learn Tagalog? So I use an app called Pimsleur for speaking, but also I do tutoring and I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I try to read. Here's the thing about Tagalog is if you were to ask, it's interesting because I actually understand the language. I would say, I used to say 90%, but I'd say maybe 80%. I understand the language. If somebody were to talk to me in Tagalog, I would pretty much understand everything they're saying. The hard part is the speaking part, because my whole life, my mom pretty much spoke to me in Tagalog. And the speaking part is the harder part. And so I lean on apps that help with the speaking part more. So I do feel like tutoring, though, is the best way to learn how to speak. Learning how to understand. I mean, I use similar, like for Japanese, as I'm learning Japanese, I use like, I don't know, 4 apps, 5 apps. I have books to, make sure that I do my grammar correctly. So Tagalog's pretty difficult though, especially if you have never, or if you know nothing about the language too. I think it's ranked out of a difficulty of 5, it's like 4 out of 5 difficulty, while Japanese is 5 out of 5. Uncle says, what's your take on dry fasting? So people ask me this every now and then, right? I don't dry fast. I mean, I do dry fast. I dry fast every day. And in fact, anybody who's watching this right now, you dry fast every day. You might be saying to yourself, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. If you sleep, you're literally dry fasting. Dry fasting means that, which is different than water fasting. Dry fasting means that you are fasting, not consuming any food or any drink, right? I usually dry fast every evening. So let's say it's 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I will stop drinking anything at around 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I'll go to bed at around 10 or 11 p.m. And then I wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning, right? And I've then been dry fasting for about 10 hours or so. But I'll push it even harder, or I'll push it a bit harder after that. When I get up, I go to the bathroom, I weigh myself on the scale, I go for a walk, I lift weights. I do that dry fasted. I don't drink anything. I don't take pre-workout. I don't take any supplements, right? I continue to stay dry fasted. That's the exact same thing I've done today. Last night after my refeed, got up, scale, walk, lift, walk home, right? So sometimes I'll be 14 or 16 hours dry fasted at the most, and that's it. I know people will do longer dry fasts. Some people will go multiple days dry fasted. But for me, as active as I am, it's not something that I want to do. It's not something that I really think about or want to do. I don't, and I'm not knocking it, but I feel like I'm too active to do a dry fast in that way. But if it's something that you want to try, I mean, it's worth a shot just as long as you can healthily do it and as long as you feel good, right? Because the moment that you don't, the moment that you're having issues, the moment that, right, like you're not feeling it. And this is no different when people are like, Jerome, I feel really weak. Jerome, I feel really nauseous on my water fast. Jerome, I feel X, Y, and Z. When people tell me they feel a certain way, that they feel like they can't function properly, my advice to them is break your fast. You have to build your fasting muscle. You have to really, when I fast for as long as I do, I don't do it on my deathbed. You've all watched me since the beginning of my journey. I will do live streams when I'm 80 hours fasted, when I'm 100 and something hours fasted. If you didn't know that, if I didn't share that information with you and I just did my live stream, or somebody on the street was talking to me, they'd have no idea that I was 4 days fasted or 5 days fasted. That is what I'm talking about when I say continue to do it if you can healthily do so, right? So just something to be mindful about for anybody who's watching this and who wants to, fast in a particular type of way. Jarius says, Mabuhay, Jerome, watching from Japan. Do you live in Japan? I love that. Baba, hi Baba, says, hi Jerome, good to see you here again. Thanks. Joining from the UK. I keep starting and stopping. I need to be, or maybe you need a coach, but you're very busy. How long is your coaching session? My typical coaching sessions are 25 minutes. People do sign up for 50-minute ones because there's a lot more to talk about. Sometimes people will book longer ones because they need to talk about issues when it comes to binge eating or emotional eating. But I also have 5-minute check-ins. And so it really depends on what you're looking for. I, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say you need to sign up for X, Y, and Z. That's the one thing I hate doing. I'm not a salesman. I'm not here to be like, you need to sign up for this and do this package, because I just want to be able to help people. So if you find value in these live streams, if you think it would be helpful for you to talk to somebody and put a plan and a strategy together, then maybe get a hold of me and, see if we can, or if you'd like to have a discussion and talk. So, I don't think was this for me? Why do I drive fast? If you're asking me why I sleep without drinking anything at night, that's so that I don't wake up in the middle of the night and pee. But why do I drive fast when I wake up in the morning and I go for my walk and I lift? It's because I'm not even thirsty. And so there's actually another answer to this as well, right? So one of the reasons I do this is, for me, it helps through my actual fast. This is something that I have maybe shared with other clients that I've coached, but the way I look at this is, imagine this morning when I wake up in the morning, let's say 10 hours fasted, dry fasted. I go for a walk, I go lift weights. By the time I get back home, and let's say I'm 14 hours fasted or whatever that is, I'm not thinking about food. The only thing I'm thinking about is, oh my God, it would be so good to drink something right now. And that's pretty much why I do that. So that's it's more of a mental thing than anything else. So, okay. I think those are all of the questions, and we're exactly an hour in. So with that being said, that will be it for today. Nothing changes in my journey. I'm continuing another fast all day today. I'll be breaking again tomorrow, and we'll do this again. So everybody who's been here, thank you again for watching. Thank you for the support as always. It's lovely to see you here. Thank you to all my Finally Fasting members who have supported me in that way. I appreciate it. Thank you for being part of the Finally Fasting fam. I think I've given all my thank yous. So at this point, I'll do my wave goodbye. But we'll do this again tomorrow. Will you be here tomorrow? Will you show up tomorrow? Will you show some accountability? Will you keep us posted on your journey? Remember, you're not alone. We're all doing this together. All right, that's it for me. This is the usual wave. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Take care.